High Commissioner to Namibia. The Director of Ceremony has recognized all of us. She did it in a way as for introducing all of us, and allow me just to welcome the entire delegation, or to recognize the entire delegation from India and all our officials who are present here. Honorable Minister, when we met this morning, allow me on behalf of the government and the people of Namibia to express our condolence on the loss of many Indians due to the train crash, and to wish those being hospitalized a good recovery. Finally, let me commend our senior officials for facilitating our work. I am also reminded them that their responsibility is to organize and make sure that whatever we are going to agree is implemented. We are here to identify critical areas that we will consider very urgent for us to address in order to deliver the quality services to our people. Once again, Honorable Minister, you are welcome, and I'm looking forward to our useful deliberation in order to strengthen our cooperation and for our people to see value on what Namibia and India are doing together. Welcome to Namibia. Effect. Each challenge following the other and leading to resentments that often devolve into violence and unrest. Therefore, we really need to address them seriously in order to maintain peace and stability in our countries. Honorable Minister, after we established diplomatic relations in 1990, our two countries' cooperation grew from strength to strength. With India's wide-ranging support in our efforts to promote the socio-economic development of Namibia, India has provided training to Namibians in various areas such as diplomacy, IT, health, education, culture, and many others. And this is clear and visible to all of us. And I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the government of India. Our shared goals and vision is to see real change in our people's livelihoods. We want to see our youth educated, trained, and developed to become responsible citizens of our nations. My dear brother, Honorable Dr. Sabrabanyam Jasnyaka, Minister for External Affairs of the Republic of India, Honorable Denir Matoli, the Deputy Minister of the Ministry of International Relations and Cooperation, our country, and you know this visit is coming hardly a year since my visit to India, where we had a very fruitful discussion, and I'm happy that you have kept your word when you say that sooner rather than later you will be visiting Namibia, and that we will be inaugurating our Joint Commission of Cooperation. So therefore, it gives me a great pleasure to co-chair with you this inaugural session of our Joint Commission of Cooperation. Though our countries had not met under the auspices of the Joint Commission of Cooperation, we always seized an opportunity to engage one another bilaterally and multilaterally at different platforms. A growth partnership given in India in July 2022, I stated that trade data shows that we need to do something to improve our trade balance, and that we should aim to create collaboration between Namibian and Indian companies in different sectors of our economy. In this regard, I'm pleased that we have welcomed within a short time span 2 business delegations from India and some who are still in our country today. I was really happy last year when I received a business delegation from India, and today we have that delegation who we had very fruitful discussions on Saturday, and as I mentioned, some are still here. I wish to compliment both the High Commissioner and our two High Commissioners in Namibia and in India, as well as Namibia Honorable Consul in India, for the hard work that made it possible for this delegation to come. I can only reiterate that it is essential that mutual beneficial economic ties and investment flow grow between our two countries, as they will be the foundation for mutual benefit. I know there are Indian companies in Namibia, and they are doing well, and we really want them to know that their presence in our country is to strengthen that cooperation to the benefit of both countries. Honorable Minister, our interactions and consultation within the framework of the JCC and Foreign Service consultation allow us to ensure monitoring and accountabilities through overseeing the implementation of all our agreements. Allow me, therefore, Honorable Minister, at this point to ask our senior officials that moving forward, they need to review all our agreements so that we know whether they are still relevant to what we want to do together. Both our countries are very active in the multilateral arena and in the spirit of South-South cooperation. It remains important that we continue to cooperate in international issues, especially as regards to the reform of the international organizations and instruments of special concern. We need to cooperate on issues of environment, and that this inaugural session of the Joint Commission of Cooperation will further enhance and consolidate the cordial and fraternal relations between our two countries. Honorable Minister, Namibia considers India as a great friend and a strategic partner. Although located far apart from each other on two different continents, Namibia and India are closer to each other. India was with Namibian people from the beginning, as she was among the first nations to raise the question of Namibia's independence at the United Nations. The historical bonds established during the liberation struggle continue today and are now focusing particularly on addressing the triple challenge of poverty, inequality, and unemployment in our two countries. That they have full participation in the economics. We want to create sustainable jobs that ensure that our people are independent, self-sustained, enabled, and empowered to take charge of their own future and destiny. In order to achieve this, we would like to continue to cooperate with India in the fields of trade and investment, agriculture, capacity building, health, energy, and many others, so as to raise our bilateral relations to ever greater level. Honorable Minister, in this context, I have mentioned how grateful Namibia is for India's strong support to establish a Center of Excellence in Information Technology in Namibia. This center aims to develop industry-oriented programs and to conduct research to address the shortage of computing skills in cybersecurity, big data analysis, and e-governance. And I'm looking for its inauguration this afternoon. Honorable Ministers, the genesis of Namibia's diplomacy is strongly influenced by India. We proud of Ambassador Krishna Rina experience, who acted as a consultant when we drafted the Namibia's white paper on foreign affairs policy in 2004. Ambassador Rana was also invited to lecture At several heads of missions conference, whenever we have them annually, we always make him our guest to come and talk to our ambassadors. In 2005, the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation signed a memorandum of understanding for mutual cooperation with the Foreign Service Institute of India, and many of our diplomats benefited from this. Of recent, in February 2023, we launched the Namibia School of Diplomacy Training. The academic programs will include a postgraduate diploma in diplomatic studies that will commence in January 2024. Furthermore, masters as well as PhD in diplomatic study will be introduced soon after. In addition, short courses will be given to our diplomats so that they have an opportunity to upgrade their skills. With this new development, it will be necessary for us to review the Memorandum of Understanding for Mutual Cooperation with the Foreign Service Institute for India for us to be able to initiate cooperation between the Namibian School of Diplomatic Studies and the Indian Foreign Service Institute. Honorable Minister,
Thank you. My sister, Honorable Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwa, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Deputy Minister Generally Mafundo, High Commissioners, colleagues. I'm delighted to be here, Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, and the opportunity allows us to meet for the third time in less than a year. I remember our first meeting in Kigali and then your visit to India. And I would like to thank you for the warmth of the welcome, hospitality, and for the fact that we are today doing the first Joint Commission meeting. This happens to be my second visit to this beautiful country. I came here almost 3 decades ago. But I believe it's the first by any external affairs minister to India, so I'm very conscious of that privilege and that responsibility. At the outset, I would like to thank you for the expression of condolences and sympathy at the train tragedy in India. And I think at difficult moments like this, when friends all over the world stand by you, it is a source of great strength. And of great courage. Excellencies, Namibia occupies a very special place in the hearts and minds of Indians. And that is because we supported Namibia's independence and we were very pleased to see Namibia take its rightful place in the Committee of Nations to become a proud upholder of the international order. And when we look back on this relationship, we recall not just that the first SWAPO embassy was established in India. I learned yesterday that His Excellency the President was actually physically present on that occasion. But also that one of our very distinguished diplomats was a UN Commissioner for Namibia at a particularly important time before your independence. And you mentioned, Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, another diplomat of ours with whom I happen to work, who made a contribution to the evolution of your foreign policy. So as you celebrate 33 years of your independence, I must tell you that we share your pride and we applaud your progress, your success, and we take equal satisfaction in that. Today is a unique and momentous occasion because we start the inaugural Joint Commission. Joint Commission which would steer forward our relationship, which will obviously review and assess the progress we have made, which would come up with new ideas and suggestions. This process of high-level visits and constant dialogue, which is backed up by a platform, will surely help us to navigate our partnership better in times to come. Our ties are forged in our development cooperation, in our capacity building programs, and in our political solidarity. and it is important that together we grow, develop, and prosper. Excellency, our cooperation in recent years has particularly seen a pickup on the economic side. There's been a very significant increase in trade. Your own visit to India last July, I think, was very important in energizing our ties. Three important agreements were signed, and the immediate and tangible outcome of that was the translocation of cheetahs from Namibia to India. And this, in fact, is a very big step because it's the first program for the reintroduction of a large carnivore anywhere in the world. So it has wildlife and environment implications, but it also has a direct contribution to make to the growth of tourism, and I certainly hope that our cooperation in these areas will continue to grow. Another area where we have a strong partnership is, of course, in the regional, in the global arena, and the commonalities of interest, beliefs, and outlook that underpins our bilateral relations also applies to the wider global stage. And we both work for the prosperity and well-being of the people. India is a proud partner of Namibia in your developmental journey, and I would like today to underline that in areas like energy, infrastructure, transport, tourism, healthcare, digital delivery, creation of capacities, and defense, we would be very happy to explore more ideas and come up with more projects. And today, many of the officials who are accompanying me are from these very domains, so I hope we will have a very productive discussion. You also mentioned, Excellency, a number of Indian companies are operating here. I had the opportunity yesterday to meet the growing Indian community in Namibia. I think I shared with you almost 400 they were yesterday, and also interacting with our companies who are here. And we certainly, again, would like to see stronger investments by India, more collaborations, a stronger skills partnership, because what we would like to see is a partner, are really businesses in which your participation is equally strong as our contribution. Which is why I'm very pleased today that two very important business leaders from India, my colleagues dealing with oil and gas and with infrastructure development, road and rail, are with us today, and their presence, I think, is an indication of our serious business interest. I also know that just a day before, you had yourself received a business delegation from the state of Karnataka, and I was told that you gave them the message that resources plus skills equals prosperity. I want to tell you that is also our belief, and I think this should be our shared motto to build India-Namibia relations. Today, as we meet, we cannot be oblivious to the world, to the challenges that the international order is facing in different respects, and because they do impact the lives of our people, and the global south has been a particular victim of what has been happening in the world for the last 3 or 4 years. The health, economic, and social challenges posed by the pandemic, combined with the debt crisis, with high interest rates, with tense geopolitical situations, besides the ecological, economic, and social costs of climate change. I think these have all combined today to really create a very challenging international situation. So this is a time, of course, for countries like us to work together, to think together, to cooperate on the international stage. But that is best done by also forging a strong bilateral partnership. So I hope today that our Joint Commission would live up to that responsibility, would become a platform for ideas, for innovation, for exchanges of skills and technologies. And we will see in a range of areas like pharmaceuticals and health, green and clean energy, because we too are increasingly getting involved in green hydrogen. In the digital era, because one of the big changes in India, we spoke about it during your visit, has been digital delivery of public services on a scale which has really never been done by any country in history before, where we are giving food support to 800 million people, we're giving financial support to 400 million people, where our housing and our health programs today have been scaled up from the single millions or the early tens today to the hundreds. So there is a lot that we have to share, and there is a lot that we have to talk about and to collaborate. So once again, I thank you today for your very warm welcome. I look forward to our discussions and deliberations, and I'm very confident that our partnership today is entering a new era, and I look forward, Deputy Prime Minister, to working with you in that regard. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.